out was the theme of the recycling of life and death. Yeah. So any other questions about that? Okay. One of the nicest things about working in the environment is working with the different times of the day, working with dusk. That was working with dusk and the idea of going into the dust and going into my death. So, whereas the first one with the water was working with the idea of the birth. So that's one of the special things. And there's another one in there, working at night. So that's what's so special about working in the environment, is that you can work with different times of the day and night as well.
Yeah. Can you speak a little bit to how that changes your sense of time, duration? I mean, do you feel like, kind of longer spaces of time are, you can go for longer, dance kind of expands longer?
Of course.
Different.
And again, I think that I was given a lot of permission to work with expanding time by spending a lot of time watching some of the indigenous dances that the American Indians do, where they might do a corn dance that lasts for 5 days. So the expansion of time gives you an opportunity to shift your consciousness in a way that taps into the way you move. Like the one in the ocean, I was just there for hours just waiting for a wave to come and wash me up. And it was freezing cold. So another thing that you have to do when you're working in the natural environment, you really need to alter your consciousness in a way that you're not making any judgments about, ooh, this is cold, but it's cold. So your body just says it's cold, or you just accept it without any judgments. And that does alter your consciousness in a way that enables you to move a little differently. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it seems to me that watching the wave one, if I watch with kind of my normal dance eyes, I'm kind of like, oh, it's kind of slow and not necessarily so much is happening. And then if you let that expectation go away because you're so present in what you're doing, then I can get into that way of seeing.
Yeah, but if you could have seen it, you couldn't see anything on that thing up there. but you see, that's a different way of looking. There was so much going on. Mm-hmm. The patterns of the waves that were spiraling or swinging, swishing, the rhythms that were doing. I was just one little piece of driftwood in there. And so when you look at something like that, that isn't what you look at. You look at the total picture. You develop periphery vision so that as you're looking, so if I'm looking at my friend sitting there, I'm looking at Julie, I know that she's wearing a certain sort of rust color, but I can see everything. I can see every one of you around here. Every one of you are part of the way I'm looking at Julie. So nothing is long. It's like, sitting and just watching the water and saying, oh, that's so long, nothing's happening. Well, there's hundreds of things that are happening, and they're all part of my notion about life is it dances. It isn't just me. I'm not an object in nature. I mean, how boring that is. Who cares? I'm just part of it. And if I take this movement here, that's just part of whatever else is going on. So I'm always dancing with many, many things I'm aware of. And so it's challenging to put that in a square screen, and it's even more challenging to try to look at it there. But that requires a different attitude about what dance is. That's the crux of it. It's a different attitude about what expectations of dance is. And I find that dancing in nature enables me, and those that join me in that experience, it enables me to live my life more deeply. And it affects my philosophy about life. It affects my relationships to other people and to other animals and to other aspects of nature. And I feel that if if people were more like indigenous people that live off of nature, that we wouldn't have this problem we have with our extinction right now. That we don't look at nature as part of our collective being. I mean, who we are, what we breathe, is all part of something so much bigger than any one of us. And that if we, as children, we learn to have that sensibility, I don't think the world would be threatened. The planet would be threatened today.
Yeah, I think you've gotten right down into the heart of it.
So that's
yeah,
all right.
terrific. Yeah, awesome. So shall we move right along? I think, Joanna, this is a really lovely lead-in for you.
It's so interesting to juxtapose the work because our concerns are very similar, and but what manifests from those things it's just very interesting, very different. But now I'm going to completely change my work. I'm going to, I keep saying I'm going to come over and be with you for the rest of my life. Yeah, I know we're neighbors. But that was so beautiful and so inspiring. So,
Do you need to?
I think we're good, right, Patrick? Are you ready? There we are. Okay. This is at the San Francisco airport.
In a giant hangar or something like that?
No, this is in the terminal, the international terminal. This was a piece commissioned by the San Francisco International Arts Festival, and the theme of that year was the African diaspora. See this there? This is a piece that was commissioned by a dancers group last August. It's called A Shifting Cornerstone, and it was